PwC has unveiled its Barangaroo Tower 1 site with 4 entire floors dedicated to working with clients. Designed by leading architecture and design firm Future Space, the layout combines design and technology tactics to give PwC the edge over its competitors. Well, the Managing Director of Future Space, Angela Ferguson, joins us now from our Sydney CBD studio. Angela Ferguson, appreciate your time today. Look, just to start with, what was the brief? I mean, and is it a tough one to meet when you get someone like PwC go, we want a space that helps us with clients?
It was a terrific brief, actually, because the brief asked us to create an end-to-end client experience for PwC's clients. So it was a pretty broad brief, and what they wanted us to do was to take some of the best elements of hospitality, of retail, of airline lounges, of some of the other spaces that people are used to inhabiting on a daily basis, and create a really new way for them to engage with their clients.
So what does that mean? I mean, it initially throws up the idea of, open plan, couches, maybe a slide. I know people like to have sometimes of these sorts of things. What does it look like? And we'll show some pictures as well, which we've been supplied to see what it actually looks like.
Well, I think what it meant for PwC was that they'd read some of the studies, some of the recent studies about how if you change your environment, you can change your thinking. So if you have a new, different type of space, you can come up with new, different ideas. And we've seen a real trend at Future Space over the last 5 years or so where clients are wanting to work in an environment that doesn't really look like a corporate office tower. Quite often this means that they want to move to, say, a warehouse space, but obviously that's not reasonable for everybody to do. So with PwC, we really rethought the idea of what the boardroom meant, and we've worked with them to create this really diverse menu of spaces that give their clients a lot of choice as to how they engage with PwC.
Yeah, we're looking at some of the pictures now, and I've got to say, it looks pretty spectacular. Is it, as you said, lots of firms from various industries, I imagine, looking at this sort of way of developing workspaces. Does that make it harder to continue to be original and innovative and not copy what's already been done?
Well, I think no one's done anything of this scale before when it comes to client spaces. But I think the other really important part of that is the brand. So quite often clients will come to us and ask for some of the things that you mentioned earlier, like the slides and the various sort of creative bits and pieces. But when we worked with PwC and when we work with all of our clients, we really talk to them about their brand and their identity as a business and as an organisation, and we design something that's appropriate for them.
And so it has to be, it gets quite bespoke, does it, taking into consideration who the client is and I suppose their own reputation and way of doing business? Absolutely.
The bespoke is a great way of putting it, and that's a way that we talk to a lot of our clients, because if you look at Future Space's body of work, all of our work looks very different. We don't have a house style or a house look, and so it means that we really take the time we really understand a brand and how they work and what they want to achieve, and then look at what does that mean for them in terms of a built environment.
And from your perspective, exciting opportunities as well to work in, on that sort of scale with that sort of a brief?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's such an exciting space. Our team are up there a few times a week, and we have been pretty much every week since they moved in. And every time we go there, there's something different happening. There's this amazing energy and vibrancy and buzz to the space. So it's much more open too than a lot of client spaces have been in the past. If you think of the way the boardroom has been traditionally up until now, it's very much a room with a table and some video conferencing. PwC have really done away with this idea of the boardroom and completely disrupted what it means in terms of engagement.
Yeah, well, from the pictures, it just looks brilliant. Angela Ferguson, appreciate your time today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Jay.